World Anti-Imperialist Joint Struggle Statement. Let us defeat imperialism, the main culprit of invasion and plunder. U.S. President Donald Trump continues to put pressure on the Republic of Korea. On October 15, Trump once again blurted out about a $350 billion prepayment, $350 billion of tribute, 500 trillion won in our currency is Trump's first demand. He is coercing the opening of the agricultural market and an additional $200 billion, and furthermore, he is outrageously demanding a 9-fold increase in U.S. military stationing costs, the share of manufacturing industries, and even the ownership of the Camp Humphreys military base. As the USA faces a $37 trillion national debt with an annual interest payment of $1 trillion, Trump is running wild to snatch everything from the colonial ROK. The currency swap agreement pursued by the Lee Jae-myung government is a complete subordination to the dollar system and a foolish and reckless act of handing over monetary sovereignty to the madman tactics of Trump. Negotiations with the Trump administration are utterly unequal and thoroughly treacherous negotiations. We resolutely oppose the bandit Trump's visit to the ROK. Trump, claiming to have approved a CIA secret operation, is now openly carrying out an assassination operation against President Nicolas Maduro of Venezuela. Trump, while ranting about land strikes, has deployed state-of-the-art radar weapons in the Caribbean Sea and the airspace north of Venezuela, and has stationed special operation units such as the Night Stalkers, who once participated in the operation to kill Bin Laden. Earlier, he falsely labeled the civilian ship as a drug cartel vessel to murder civilians and even conducted the first flag operation, escalating his invasive provocations. The true intention of this atrocious assassination operation is to destroy the People's Government of Venezuela and to plunder its abundant natural resources, awarding resources including oil. The awarding of the Nobel War Prize to Machado, infamously known as the female Netanyahu, marks the signal flare of the imperialist invasion forces' aggression against Venezuela. As Machado is being disguised as so-called democratic figure, Trump has gained an indulgence to invade Venezuela. The U.S. imperialist war against Venezuela is a war against the whole of Latin America. The war in Palestine is far from over. The U.S. and Israel are coercing Hamas with a so-called peace plan, demanding disarmament and the stripping of each governing authority over Gaza. But Hamas rose to power through the support of the people of Gaza, and its armed forces represent the self-defense of the Gazan population. It is only natural that Hamas rejects its peace plan, this peace plan, which is in a sense an invasion plan and an occupation plan. Refusing to disarm, Hamas has issued a general mobilization order. Hezbollah in Lebanon has also denounced the peace plan and declared a resolute armed struggle. Even amid the first phase negotiations, during which Israeli hostages and Palestinian prisoners were being exchanged, Israel continued to massacre civilians in Gaza City and Rafah and launched attacks on southern Lebanon. Since the war began in October 2023, over 65,000 people have been slaughtered and more than 90% of Gaza has been destroyed. Trump has openly revealed his vile ambition to occupy Gaza, displace its indigenous population, and turn it into a resort zone. Israeli fascist factions are shamelessly making outrageous remarks about real estate bonanza on the ruins of Gaza. The storm of World War III, unleashed by imperialist warmongering forces, is sweeping from Eastern Europe through West Asia to East Asia and the Western Pacific. Throughout the first half of this year, they have provoked localized wars in global hotspots and pushed Europe toward militarization by deciding to raise NATO member states' military spending to 5% of GDP, recklessly accelerating the full-scale outbreak of World War III. Whenever there are oppression and aggression, there are struggle and resistance. In response to U.S. imperialist plunder, the ROK is transforming into a zone of anti-U.S. fervor. Venezuela has organized 4.5 million militia members and reserved the wage on anti-U.S. resistance. Anti-imperialist and anti-Zionist armed forces in West Asia are fighting resolutely for regional peace and the liberation of Palestine. The global people's struggle to overcome all forms of invasion and exploitation will never cease. The peoples of the world, together with our people of the ROK, will overthrow imperialism and inevitably achieve final victory. October 18, 2025, World Anti-Imperialist Platform, Headquarters for Anti-US Struggles.